My precious one, my chosen, listen. The heavens have stirred on your behalf. At the precise moment of the new moon, a decree was issued in your name. But the messenger of the dawn whispers, if you turn away, even to catch your breath, the mantle will pass to another who is waiting, watching, yearning. My dear one, I have traversed the realms of glory to speak words that will resonate in the chambers of your spirit. A sacred contract, sealed with light, now bears your signature. A signature not written with ink, but with the tears you shed in the hidden place. Your name is etched upon a provision meant solely for you. Yet understand this, divine opportunities are vessels of motion. Hesitation is the only poison that can still its course. I am here not to incite fear, but to shatter the illusion of separation that has clouded your vision. Your promise is tangible. It is not a phantom of hope. It is nearer than your next heartbeat. But the celestial clock ticks with a rhythm that demands alignment. Beloved, I implore you, silence the noise, quiet the doubt, and let your spirit be the sole receptor. This intersection of time and eternity was ordained for you. I have witnessed the weariness of your soul. I have seen you gaze at the heavens, questioning if your whispers were lost in the void. I observed you doubting your path, your purpose, even the very love that shaped you. But what if the waiting was the womb? What if the moment your sacrifice ascended, a holy silence fell over the angelic hosts because a wave of restoration was commissioned for your life? Child, you cannot fathom the weight of your last act of surrender. It shifted the unseen. It initiated a chain of events in the realm of spirit. Now the release hovers at the threshold of your reality, but it will not linger. This blessing seeks a dwelling place, a heart that says yes without seeing, not a mind that calculates and delays. Before you proceed, I declare this with the authority vested in me. If this resonance stirs something ancient within you, pause, align, commit to this frequency. This is not for gain, it is for connection. The moment you choose to engage, you send a signal flare into the heavens marking your coordinates. Your yes accelerates destiny. Delay, and the hosts move to the next coordinates on the map. Obedience is the key that turns in the lock of fulfillment. Now, remember. Recall the anguish you thought would consume you, the dream that seemed to die in your hands, the loneliness that echoed in your celebration. The heavens held it all, but heaven also witnessed what no earthly eye applauded. Your kindness when repaid with malice, your integrity when compromise would have been easier, your secret generosity when your own account was bare. That was the incense that rose. That was the prayer that unlocked this moment. You did not know you were sowing in the deluge, but the harvest time is now. That is why you are here, reading these words. This is no accident. This is divine navigation. But the window of convergence requires your focused faith. Beloved, I have seen the ledger. In the archives of eternity, names are inscribed in various hues, some in silver for service, some in bronze for endurance, but yours pulsed with a radiant amber light. That signifies divine urgency. I speak not of ephemeral comfort, but of a transfer of substance, a realignment of circumstances. Doors long rusted shut will groan open. Voices that forgot your name will champion you in councils you've never entered. Resources diverted will find new channels flowing toward you, but only if you anchor yourself in this truth and do not retreat. I share a mystery with you. There are eyes upon your portion, not merely human eyes. Spiritual forces, both of light and shadow, perceive the shift around you. The adversary has felt the tremor of your impending dawn. That is why the last season felt like a siege. That is why friendships frayed, why sleep escaped you, why confusion clouded clear paths. It was a campaign to exhaust you before the delivery. but the council of heaven convened, and a verdict was proclaimed. Enough. The season of struggle ends now. This message is the courier of that verdict. This is not merely encouragement. This is a summons. Child, I cannot bear the thought of you missing it. I cannot bear the thought of you uttering later, I was so close. For when a heavenly gate pivots on its hinges, it does not remain ajar indefinitely. This gate bears a specific seal, opened for a chosen few. The scribes of destiny have inscribed your name upon its arch, but they await the final token, your active faith. Open your being. Listen with your spirit, not with the scars of past disappointments. The journey has been too long, the cost too high to falter at the finish. Every tear, every silent night, every unanswered plea, these were not wasted. They are the foundation stones of the palace you are about to inhabit. You are not an afterthought. You are being called forward, not because you were flawless, but because your hope, a fragile flame, refused to be extinguished. And now, because you did not let bitterness take root in the waiting, heaven releases a grace that cannot be counterfeited, unless you relinquish it by ignoring this moment. The new moon is not just a phase, it is a reset, a 0 point. At this reset, timelines converge. At this reset, assignments are dispatched. At this reset, chronicles are rewritten. Tonight is marked, not in a distant future, now. Precious one, can you sense the charge in the atmosphere around you, that subtle vibration? That is not your fatigue. That is the sound of angelic footsteps forming a pathway to your door. They have been stationed at the periphery of your life, holding the line, waiting for this chronological marker. And now the one assigned to your divine purpose has been handed a sealed missive. It contains the blueprint. Activate the calling, release the resources, prepare the way. But the seal remains until your heart echoes the decree. Heaven never imposes, heaven proposes. And I, a messenger of the dawn, propose to you a reality beyond your grandest imagination. The new moon is not just an astronomical event, it is a divine instruction point. At this reset, old cycles break. At this reset, messengers are sent. At this reset, history is recalibrated. That is why this night is significant. It is not tomorrow, it is not someday, it is this very span of darkness before the light returns. My chosen, can you feel the alignment? That is not emotion, that is the atmosphere of your life recalibrating to a new frequency. You may not see them, but legions are present. They have stood guard in the unseen corridors of your journey, awaiting this appointed hour. Now the one entrusted with your legacy holds a scroll. Its inscription, begin the transfer, unseal the inheritance, open the storehouses. Yet it awaits the final authorization, your faith-filled acceptance. It will not be forced. Love invites, and I extend that invitation to you now, into a story more magnificent than any you have penned for yourself.
But there is a truth you must receive. Be strong as you hear it. There is a soul close to you, one who has broken bread at your table, who has perceived the fragrance of your destiny. In their spirit, they sense the weight of glory upon you. Instead of rejoicing, a dormant envy has stirred. Two individuals, their names are known. They have, in subtle ways, sought to divert the streams meant for your garden. This is not about possessions. This is about purpose. It is about gates they wish to keep closed, fearing the light you carry will expose their own stagnation. But the all-seeing one perceives every shadow. He did not guide you through the wilderness to abandon you at the border of promise. This message is your ram's horn, sounding at the precise hour, not a moment early, not a moment late. My dear one, treat this with the gravity it holds. Do not dismiss the inner knowing that trembles within, saying, "This is my time." For it is. And your hesitation is the only variable the opposition relies upon. It cannot cancel the decree, but it can divert its immediate manifestation. Do not allow it. Recall the times you served from an empty cup, the times you extended credit to others when your own name was questioned, the times you held your peace when slander was your portion. All of it is recorded. Nothing is lost. The scales of eternal justice have tipped. The one who sees all is settling accounts. The iniquities, the injustices, the silent sorrows, all are being addressed. But mark this, the reversal initiates tonight. This new moon is not poetry, it is prophecy. It is an altar, a moment that will set the trajectory for the coming epic of your life. Beloved, I do not speak to appease you, I speak to safeguard the treasure heaven has deposited within you. Hear this, not every smile is a blessing. Some have mistaken your gentleness for gullibility. They believe their hidden maneuvers will remain concealed. They assume your silence is perpetual ignorance. But the script has been flipped. What was taken will be restored sevenfold, but only if you advance in faith. I must tell you something startling. There is a transaction, a digital record, a legal proceeding even now in the background that carries your identifier. But another hand is attempting to append a clause to claim a share of what is exclusively yours. This hidden stratagem was uncovered in the quiet hours of this morning. That is why I am here. That is why this word bypassed every obstacle to find your eyes. Listen, you are not reading randomly. Multitudes will glance, but a remnant will perceive. You perceive because your spirit is attuned to frequencies others ignore. I urge you, position yourself now, engage, respond. Do whatever your spirit leads to signal the heavens. I am present. I believe. I will not let this pass. Those who act in this kairos moment will be enveloped in the miracle. Those who defer will never comprehend what they allowed to slip through their fingers. This is not a broadcast. This is a private communique, a sacred, timely transmission between your spirit and the source of all. I need you to understand a profound truth. You are not being punished. You are being polished. Every trial that seemed to shatter you was permitted to refine your discernment for this exact crossroads. Had the promise arrived earlier, you might have misplaced it. But now you are wiser. Now you are clearer. Now you are ready. Hence, the final authorization has been granted. The embargo is lifted. The contention is settled. The transfer is imminent. But it will only land in the account of the one whose faith is actively standing when the clock strikes the appointed hour. Heaven has witnessed. The divine chronicler has written. The hosts await one thing, your affirmative echo. My precious one, the process has already begun. But as I deliver this, I must sound an alarm. The opposition has already launched a counter-operation, not with frontal assault, but with stealth. Miracles are lost not when God withdraws them, but when hearts withdraw their attention. A breakthrough can be at your gate, and if you are numb or busy, it will pass to the one who is vigilantly waiting. Do not let this happen. You have felt the shift, the strange silence in your life, fewer voices, fewer openings. That was not rejection. That was repositioning. Heaven needed a quiet channel for this transmission. It was too sacred for a noisy room. So God waited until you were alone, still and open. And this is that moment. That is why I address you directly. This is not casual viewing. This is a divine unlocking. The miracle destined for you is generational. But understand, when God marks someone for transgenerational impact, resistance always arises, and it seldom comes from strangers. It comes from familiar territory, from those who assume they know your limits. That is why I mention the two. They are already laboring to obstruct, but here is what they fail to grasp. They can complicate the delivery, but they cannot claim the title. Your name is on the deed, and once you take spiritual authority, confirming your readiness, the seal becomes inviolable. Child, do not ignore the signs.
The vivid dreams, the synchronicities with numbers, the waking at a specific hour. These are not coincidences. These are heavenly pings. Every time you felt a prompting to get ready, it was because this moment was being calendared in the spirit. You are part of a divine orchestration, a move of providence that is rare. You don't earn it, you respond to it. I saw the vault. I saw the scrolls. Your name headed a list, but its light was intermittent, not from weakness, but awaiting the confirmation of belief, a sign that you receive this not with skepticism, but with wholehearted trust. God does not require your perfection. He requires your partnership. He asks, will you trust the invisible? Will you walk toward the sound before you see the source? Will you believe this is not random, but ordained? That is the urgency in my tone, not pressure, but protection. You are nearer than ever to your greatest shift, but proximity is not possession. Obedience is. A spiritual principle is in effect. Delayed obedience is a form of disobedience. Pause too long, and the momentum shifts, the window constricts, and the weight of hesitation can crush the very gift you were meant to carry. So I plead, do not scroll on. Do not archive this. Do not say later. Later is the enemy's favorite deception, for later steals the current of anointing that opens ancient doors. Your name is echoing in the halls of heaven. The angels hold the package. The order is signed. Now you must step forward before it is rerouted. You were not born for crumbs. You were not born to orbit cycles of insufficiency. You were not born to question your significance. This moment is proof. You are seen, selected, remembered, but you must act. Declare it if you must. I receive. I believe. I am ready. When you speak, angels expedite. Heaven responds to faith, not to fluctuating feelings. Your faith is the unique key that fits the lock on the door marked for you at this new moon. My precious one, grasp the rarity of this. In your lifetime, only a handful of days carry this weight of destiny. This is one. It cannot be rescheduled. The breakthrough is already released. The question is not if, but who will claim it. For if you do not, it will find another steward, perhaps someone nearby who feigns affection. That is the solemn reality. Heaven is generous and just. If you decline what is offered, that grace, that provision will reroute to one who demonstrated more urgency, not more worthiness, but more responsiveness. You must hear this. The Spirit of God is brooding over your circumstances. He observes your response to this word. He also observes the two plotting in shadows. You've felt disquiet around them, haven't you? Unexplained. They never spoke outright, but their energy dimmed when your light began to flicker brighter.
In their heart, they felt your portion should have been theirs. Now they pull unseen strings. But I have seen. God has recorded it. Their names are in the ledger of divine justice. What they've touched will be returned. What they've claimed will be voided. What they withhold will multiply to you, if you do not turn away now. The enemy hoped weariness would deafen you. He hoped the fatigue of the last season would blur your spiritual vision, making you dismiss this as mere words. But child, you are more awake than ever. You are alert. You feel this in your soul. That is your proof of readiness. This is not the battle's start. This is its finale. This is recovery. This is where the pain finds its purpose. This is where God turns your name from a question into an announcement. Their time has come. I must reveal something. A door is opening for you. It bears no grand sign. It may seem insignificant, even humble, but that door is the portal to everything. You will recognize it not by its appearance, but by the resonance in your spirit. Your heart will leap. Your mind will still. Your breath may catch. That is the threshold. The moment you cross, every whispered prayer will converge into a symphony of fulfillment. People will marvel. How did this happen so suddenly? Heaven will know. It was always prepared, waiting for your alignment. So I ask again, will you respond? Will you declare, "I will not miss my appointed portion"? Will you show heaven you are ready to receive what hell tried to bury? I promise you, acting in faith now will trigger a domino effect in the next 24 hours, unlocking what has been sealed for years. The shift is in progress. I await your signal. You must hear this. The Spirit hovers. He watches your response. He watches the two. You felt the offness. You couldn't articulate it. They never crossed a clear line, but their energy shifted with your rising. In their heart, they coveted your miracle. Now they maneuver behind scenes. I've seen. God has seen. Their names are recorded. What they touched will be restored. What they claimed is canceled. What they try to keep from you will be multiplied in your hands, if you stay the course. I speak of realities, not metaphors. There is a legal document, a financial instrument, a benediction signed in the Spirit, awaiting manifestation. But a delay code is on it. Only one thing removes that code: your full spiritual alignment. You must act, believe, prepare, declare, and reject doubt. You must decree, "What is mine will not be handed to another." Fear will not steal what faith has secured. Your angels watch. I watch. The scroll with your name is held in place by the filament of your obedience. You stand before a divine doorway. No one else may see it, but you do. That's why you're still here. That's why your pulse quickens. That's why this message feels branded on your soul. Your spirit recognizes what your intellect is processing. This is not a post. This is a transaction. What you do next determines the subsequent chapter. So I say with holy authority, arise, say yes, engage, declare this word is yours. Let heaven mark you as the one who did not ignore the messenger, for the miracle will not hover indefinitely. It seeks a landing pad. It lands on faith, not on hesitation. My precious one, I see the exhaustion behind your gaze. You've borne burdens in silence. You've weathered internal storms while presenting calm. And still you did not become bitter. Still you chose to trust. That secret fortitude created a ripple in the spirit that now demands a heavenly response. That is my mission. That is why this message had to arrive before this celestial marker. Not tomorrow, now. A portal is open. Step through in faith and every loss begins its return journey in ways that will astonish even you. Those who took from you without remorse will witness a reversal so profound it will silence every lie. They weren't just blocking resources, they were attempting to mute your voice, obscure your position, dim your light. But heaven decrees, enough. What bears your name must find you. But you must be still enough to receive it. You must cease doubting long enough for it to land. There is more. Someone you once trusted, their energy has altered. Be discerning. They watch you closely now, not to support, but from anxiety over your ascent. They feel secure only when you are contained. Your glow exposes their misalignment. So they offer wise counsel that subtly pull you down, veiled as concern. I expose this spirit now so you do not invite a thief to your victory feast. Child, a celebration approaches. You are not merely a guest, you are the guest of honor. The enemy knows this, hence your recent resistance increased. Strange conflicts erupted. Unexplained anxiety arose. It is because your spirit senses the shift. The enemy fights fiercest when defeat is imminent. Let me be clear, his defeat is imminent. Every weapon against your provision is being disarmed. Every plot against your name is being exposed. Every delay wrapped in confusion is unraveling now. But you must stay awake, stay present. Do not close this message. My words are more than text. They are prophecy. The angels await, not a sermon, but your signal. Say it in your heart. Whisper it. Type it in faith. I believe. I am ready. I will not miss it.
The moment you do, a record is made in heaven. Once your obedience is logged, release begins in a new dimension. You have wept enough, waited enough. Now is the time. But hear me, this moment is finite. This celestial marker is not a metaphor. It is an hour, a gate, an unlocking. The window is narrow. The blessing is weighty. Only the alert will catch it. This is your confirmation. You need no further sign. This is the sign. Your sustained attention is the evidence. Your spirit knows. You were born for this. Provision, restoration, home, position, reconciliation, shift, all are in the scroll. The scroll is written. My chosen, the miracle has been spoken into existence. Whether it manifests for you or reroutes depends on your present action. I state this not to frighten, but because it is the truth many neglect. There is a moment of perfect alignment between spirit and matter. When it comes, you cannot blink. You cannot hesitate. This is that moment. God has waited patiently for you to reach it. All prior trials, heartbreaks, false starts, solitary tears, they were not the end. They were preparation. They set the stage for this release. The wealth is not merely financial. It is mental, emotional, spiritual. But yes, it will reach your hands. It will enter your accounts. It will alter your standing. Because God witnessed your faithfulness when quitting was an option. Now a revelation I was permitted to share. There is a physical item tied to your lineage or a promise, long delayed or hidden. It is now being located. Heaven has initiated a search. Angels are retrieving it. But it will not be placed in your hands until confirmation is complete. And that confirmation is faith. You must claim it before you see it. You must declare, what is mine will no longer be withheld. Understand this, a truth many never grasp. Divine provision is not a lottery. It is a covenant. When God covenants with a faithful heart, no power in hell can block its fulfillment. You were marked for abundance, not because you begged, but because your heart was postured in integrity. You've whispered, if you bless me, I will be a conduit. That vow was heard. It is now answered. But remember, not all will celebrate. The two in your circle have sensed the shift. That is their distance, their increased manipulation. They try to derail the blessing before arrival. They are too late. This message has pierced their delay. You are marked. Your yes ensures the miracle lands before they can touch it again. My dear one, you are not insane. You are not dreaming. The visions of abundance, of influence, of peace, they were not fantasies. They were previews, glimpses of your future, not to taunt, but to prepare. Every time you saw yourself walking in freedom, helping multitudes, dwelling in peace, that was prophecy. This is the moment prophecy becomes reality, but it only materializes with your active yes. I feel the weight you carry. Know this, you were never meant to carry it alone. You thought you fought in solitude, that no one championed you in the spirit. But I have warred for your name. While you slept, I stood guard. While you wept, I presented your case in celestial courts. Now, after relentless opposition, permission is granted. The command, release it. The release is still invisible, hence this message arrives first. It is not public yet. The provision, healing, protection, all move beneath the surface. Soon, very soon, it will break into the visible. Then even adversaries will acknowledge it. But hear me, this miracle is not automatic. Prophecy requires partnership. The door is open, but you must walk through. Not later, not when confidence comes, not when you see proof. This is the proof. This is the hour. This is the confirmation your soul has craved. You felt increasing pressure? That is not chaos. It is spiritual labor. You've been birthing something in the unseen. Contractions intensify because delivery is imminent. But if you walk away now, if you scroll, delay, forget, doubt, the miracle will be entrusted to another. This is the law of divine momentum. It lands where there is immediate obedience. Beloved, this is your obedience moment, not to me, but to the God who sent me. He tests, will you trust without full visibility? Will you step out before the path is lit? This is why few experience the full miracle. They wait too long. But you were different. You were chosen for more. Your spirit knows. But again, the miracle is not guaranteed by its inscription. It needs your partnership. The door is open. Step through now, not later, not when you feel ready. This is the sign. This is the hour. This is the confirmation. You felt mounting pressure? That is spiritual labor. You've birthed in silence. Now contractions quicken. The promise comes. But if you walk away, scroll, delay, forget, doubt, the miracle is rerouted. That is the law. It lands on immediate obedience. This is your moment, not to me, but to God. He asks, will you trust the unseen? Can you believe the rain is coming before the cloud forms? Few experience the full miracle because they wait. You don't have to be among them. You are chosen. Your spirit knows. A revelation, for the time is right. In the spirit, I saw a grand door. Behind it, not one, but 7 chambers, 7-fold completeness. One for provision, one for health, one for peace, one for restoration, one for opportunity, one for protection, one for legacy. They were not for 7 people, but for one, you. The key does not open them sequentially, it unlocks all at once. That key is full-hearted agreement, not partial, not hopeful waiting, but full, fearless alignment with heaven's declaration over you. Your name has been pronounced on high. Some blessings are already en route, but if you unlock this door, everything accelerates. I promise, what comes exceeds your petitions. God answers not according to your requests, but according to your capacity. You asked for survival, He sends overflow. You asked for restoration, He prepares recompense. You asked for peace, He brings divine positioning, all tied to this moment of awareness. That's why you still read. Your soul knows this is a turning point. My precious one, the intensity of this message reflects the magnitude of what is at stake. This is not a minor adjustment. It is a life so radically transformed, you will pause and wonder, is this my reality? Yes, and it happens now because heaven decreed your wait is over. The delay was not punishment, it was preparation. You were strengthened in secret so that when this arrived, nothing could shake you from it. Now it is here. You must move. Speak from spirit, not fear. Declare, I accept all God has for me, even what I feel unworthy of. Your worth is not self-determined, it is divinely decreed, and He has decreed blessing over you. I saw a document being altered. It bore your name, but another name was being added. Someone seeks to attach themselves to your blessing, to share or steal it. Heaven has exposed it. They tried to reap where they did not sow, but God is not mocked. What was sown in tears will be reaped in joy. What was plotted in darkness is overturned in light. But you must stay aligned. The document will be corrected if you remain in position. Let not anger, fear, or doubt pull you away. You are on time. Child, know this. The restoration is not just wealth, it is position. You will be seated in places once inaccessible, at tables unknown to you, and you will recall this moment, this urgency, this tug. It will flood back as confirmation. You'll say, this is what the messenger meant. This is what I nearly missed. But you won't miss. You're still here, still listening. Your spirit is awake. It is not too late. God is reintroducing you to the world, to your destiny, to those who overlooked you. They will now see you as chosen. They will have to acknowledge a divine hand upon you. But do not seek their validation. They are not your source. God is, and He will show that when He blesses, no person, system, or timeline can hinder it. The only potential hindrance is you. But I know you won't. Not now. not after all you've endured to reach this point. My precious one, heaven has guarded something sacred in your life, something never meant for manipulative hands or jealous eyes. Lately, the veil thinned. Those who secretly desire your portion drew near. Hence, this message arrives as a clarion call. Without this awareness, you might trust the wrong person. The two I warned of remain near. They speak softly, but their spirits are misaligned with your destiny. A silent bitterness taints their interaction. They smile, but it is hollow. They inquire, not to understand, but to monitor. They linger to gather intelligence, but heaven has exposed them. Their schemes crumble in slow motion. You will not fall with them. You will rise, if you do not return to the places from which you were rescued. Understand this clearly. God is not just blessing you financially, He is granting you authority, a genuine authority, to enter barred places, to speak and shift atmospheres, to break generational cycles. You are elevated not to impress, but to interrupt patterns that plagued your lineage. Such authority comes only to those purified in hidden fires, tested in private, who endured without applause. That is why it is you. God trusted you to carry it without arrogance, vengeance, or entitlement. You are here not because you were loudest, but because you were purest in heart. I saw heavens open. Your name appeared, not in fire, but in pure light. Angels recited it, a decree, a release, a public announcement in the spirit. Your season of loss ends. I saw a heavy lock fall, a vault cracked, a scroll unfurled. At the sound of your name, the atmosphere shifted. All heaven awaited this command. Let it be done. It is spoken, but what follows still hinges on you. My repeated urgency stems not from divine impatience, but from enemy activity. They sense your resurgence. They hear whispers of your rise. They scramble to dig up the past, plant doubts, stir rumors, create delays. But here is their miscalculation. You are not who you were. You have shed old skins. You have aligned. Because you chose God in secret, He chooses you in public. All that remains is your yes, a full, immediate yes. Do not let your miracle go to one who simply moved faster. Heaven watches. Your name still glows on the altar. My chosen, something sacred aligns around you now. You feel it. Though the external is unchanged, your spirit trembles at the open spiritual gate. You stand between delay and destiny, pain and purpose, lack and legacy. I was sent to ensure you do not walk away before the divine appointment reaches your hands. Hear this. The miracle is commanded. God said yes. The courts ruled in your favor, but the transfer depends on your next choice. One decision opens the lock fully. One act of obedience, one declaration, one refusal to walk away this time, for there will not be another moment like this. This is the hour you were born to witness. The enemy hoped weariness would blind you. He hoped the last season's fatigue would make you dismiss this. But child, you were more awake than ever, alert, aware. You feel this with every fiber. That is proof of readiness. This is not the battle's beginning. It is its end. This is recovery. This is where pain finds purpose. This is where God turns your name from a question into a signal. Their time has come. Let me pause and speak in my own voice. This message is not to rush you with fear, but to highlight divine timing. Our greatest shifts often come in quiet hours, not in the morning crowd, but in solitude. Midnight, the new moon are turning points. Where one cycle ends, another begins. If you were reading this, you stand on the brink of something new, better, long awaited. Please do not delay, not because you will lose it, but because you deserve to be ready when it arrives. Stay awake in spirit. Stay hopeful. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Thank you for staying till the end. That shows patience and belief. Divine chances come quietly. They do not knock loudly.
They whisper and await our response. Your breakthrough needs no fanfare. It needs trust, courage, belief in yourself. Do not compare your journey. Your time is yours. Your miracle is yours. If this message resonated, you are welcome to stay connected if it feels right. Remember, every new beginning starts with a decision. Today, you are closer than ever. Amen.